Hi dear students and viewers. In this video we are going to discuss about the ionic bond formation. What is meant by ionic bond? How the ionic bond will be formed. That is the topic for this video. Dear students, first you have to know about that. What is the necessity of chemical bond between atoms? And what is the octet rule? Why the atoms are ready to lose the electrons, gain the electron? So when you have get clarity about these things, then only you have to understand the bonds between the atoms. Clear? The first thing is you have to know about the noble gases elements. In that noble gases elements, they have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. Except helium, remaining all elements have 8 electrons. The atoms which have 8 electrons in their outermost shell, they are very stable and they have low reactive nature because the electrons are there 8. The shells are completely filled. They are not ready to participate in any chemical bond. That's why noble gases elements should be considered as the most stable atoms. And another reason is also there. They have valency is 0. Clear? So noble gases have more stable compared to the remaining all the elements. That's why every atom wants to get the configuration of noble gas elements. That's why they want to make a chemical bond between the atoms. This is the main reason why the chemical bonds are formed between the atoms. Clear, students? Why? Because every atom wants to gain the configuration of noble gas elements. So to understand that, here, once see here on the board, what is meant by a chemical bond and what is meant by octet rule. The octet rule means, children, the atoms of elements tend to undergo chemical changes that help to leave their atoms with 8 outer shell electrons. This is called exact definition of octet rule. The atoms of elements tend to undergo chemical changes that help to leave their atoms with 8 outer shell electrons. Simply what we have to say, the atoms which have 8 electrons in their outermost shell, they are very stable. That is nothing but octet rule. Now here you have to know about the chemical bond. What is the necessity of chemical bond? Just now we discussed. The force of attraction between the atoms or number of atoms to get the stability, that should be called a chemical bond. Look here, the definition is there. The force of attraction between any 2 atoms or a group of atoms that results a stable entity is called chemical bond. Here children, here one word it is there, stable entity. When the stable entity is possible, when the atom will have 8 electrons in outermost shell only it is possible. So children, this is simply about the what is the chemical bond and its importance and what is octet rule. Now to understand the chemical bond, you have to know about the in the modern periodic table which are the metals and which are the non-metals and how they can form the bonds. To understand the about the valency of those metals and non-metals, then there is one idea can be framed about the bonds. Let's go for that. Here on board some table it is the children. Look here. So to understand that, simply here I am erasing this one. We need some space. So now in this one you have to observe the noble gases elements like 8A group elements are called noble gases are zero group elements. Why? Because you can go for neon. What is its configuration? Atomic number is 10. Atomic number is 10. And its configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2 and 2p6. So you can observe here how many valence electrons are there, how many outermost electrons are there? 8. In outermost shell 8 electrons are there. Why? Because here we are saying now Ne is 10, 1s2. 1s2 means what? Here 1s means N is equals to 1 here, that will represents the shell K, that can represent the shell K. And now here we have 2s2 and 2p6, that means what? Principal quantum number is what? 2. Then principal quantum number 2 means that is the L main shell. L main shell. All of you know principal quantum number always explains about the main shells. So now we have K and L shells are there. That's why here in the outermost shell, among these two, which is the outermost shell? L is the outermost shell. In that how many electrons are there? S. 8 electrons are there. So you can observe the remaining also, we will get the same thing. Look here, argon. Atomic number is what? 18. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p6. Clear? So 1s, 2s and 3s2, 3p6. It is the K shell, it is the L shell and it is the S. So outermost shell, how many electrons are there? 8 electrons are there. That's why here when they have 8 electrons, almost all their valency is 0. Valency is 0. The elements which have valency is 0, they are very low reactive elements or least reactive elements. They don't want to form any chemical bonds. That's why these are called noble gases or noble gas elements, or 8th group elements or zero group elements. So the remaining atoms what are there in the modern periodic table, they want to get the stability of 8th A group elements. Clear, children? So simply can understand what it is. You have to remember the atoms which have 8 electrons. Simply here the octet configuration is like NS2 NP6, NS2 NP6. The atoms which have NS2 NP6 configuration, look here now, in case of neon it is 2s2 2p6, here 3s2 3p6, for next one 4s2 4p6, for next one 5s2 5p6, like that. So the atoms which are having in outermost shell like NS2 NP6 configuration, they are very stable, children. So the remaining atoms want to gain the configuration of NS2 NP6. For that purpose only they want to form the chemical bonds. And next thing you have to remember, children, in modern periodic table 1A, 2A, 3A elements are the metals. Clear? So those metals, tell me now, understand here, look here now, Na is there, 1A group, 2A, 3A. So these are the metals, Here for example, Na atomic number is what? 11. So to wants to get the very stable configuration, it wants to get the configuration of neon. For that it wants to lose one electron. Here plus 1 means what? 1A group I am showing here plus 1. Plus 1 means it is ready to lose one electron. All 1A groups are the high reactive metals. Clear? And Na, they want to lose one electron. Is potassium like this. In 1A group, every element wants to lose one electron to get the stable configuration. And if you can go for magnesium, its atomic number is what? It is the second A group element. Atomic number is what? 12. To get the stability, it wants to gain the configuration of neon. For that, it wants to lose or lost 2 electrons. When it wants to lose 2 electrons, that is what you have to say, plus 2. And similarly, aluminium, that is the third A group element. So its atomic number is what? 13. It wants to gain the configuration of neon. So again it wants to lose 3 electrons. That's why the metals, what are those on the left side of the periodic table, they want to lose the electrons to get the stability. In first year group elements, they want to lose 1 electron. In second year group elements, they want to lose electrons, 2 electrons. In third year group elements, they want to lose 3 electrons. In the same manner, if you can come to the non-metals, these are the right side, in the modern periodic table. So generally 5th A, 6th A, 7th A group are called as non-metals. In that again 7th A are the very highly reactive elements. For example, children, here in 7th A group, what you have? Fluorine is there. What it is there? Fluorine it is there. Its atomic number is what? 9. So its configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. It wants to gain the configuration of neon to get the stability. Why? Because in outermost shell it has 8 electrons. So when in outermost shell 8 electrons are there, then it becomes very stable. For that purpose, here they want to gain fluorine want to gain 1 electron. That's why this fluorine is ready to receive the electrons. That's why here how many electrons is required? Only 1 electron is required. So when 1 electron is required, we are showing that it is -1, 7th A -1. In 7th A group, every element wants to gain 1 electron to get the outermost electron are 8. That's why here you can go for next example is also in the same group you have chlorine is there. What it is? Chlorine is atomic number is 17 and argon wants to get the argon configuration what? 18. This chlorine wants to gain the configuration of argon. For that this chlorine 1 electron is required. That's why it wants to gain. That's why we are showing that it is a -1. And similarly, to get the 8 electrons in the outermost shell, 6th A group also required here -2 means what? For example, here oxygen is there. Oxygen atomic number is what? 8. To get the configuration of neon, it required 2 electrons. That's why here 2 electrons are needed for the 6th A group elements to get the configuration of 8 electrons in the outermost shell. It is -2. Clear? In the same manner, 5th A group elements, nitrogen is there, phosphorus, arsenic, like that. They need 3 electrons. For example, here nitrogen is the atomic number is 7. It wants to gain the 3 more electrons to get the configuration of neon. That's why what you have to write? -3. 5th A group -3. That means what? The non-metals which are available in the periodic table, they want to gain electrons. They want to gain electrons to get the octet configuration. And the metals which are available in the periodic table, they want to lose the electrons. So loss of electrons should be for 1A, 2A, 3A elements. That's why here non-metals are wants to gain electrons and metals are want to lose the electrons. When this metal and non-metals are combined together, they will form the ionic bond. When metals and non-metals are combined together, they will form the ionic bond. For example, here look here now. So here Na is what? 1A group element, and here it is what? 7th A group element is chlorine. So NaCl, when 1A and 7th A group elements are combined together. Dear students, what is mean by ionic bond? Ionic bond formed between two atoms due to the transfer of electrons from one atom to the another atom. So due to that electrostatic force, the electrons will transfer from one element to the another element. That is what we call here ionic bond. Let's go for that. Children, here how the ionic bond is formed? Ionic bond is formed between two atoms because of transfer of electrons. electrons from one atom to another. Clear? So formation of ionic bond because of transfer of electrons from one atom to the another atom. So children, let's go for one example. It is there. Let's discuss. Formation of sodium chloride. Symbol is what? NaCl. The first thing is here we want to discuss about the cation formation. Cation formation. Dear students, here what is Na? Na is sodium. Na11. Atomic number is what? 11. So here configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, 3s1. So this neon wants to get configuration of, this sodium wants to get configuration of neon. What is the neon configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So if this neon sodium want to get the configuration of neon, it must lose one electron, because here 11 electrons are there, but here for neon only 10 electrons are there. Clear? And there is another chance for sodium is to get the stability, it wants to gain the configuration of argon. Clear? So if sodium want to get the configuration of neon, it must lose only one electron. Clear? So already we discussed what we discussed. These 1a, 2a, 3a group elements are, they will get the stability by losing the electrons. But here if you want to get it wants to get the configuration of argon, it required 7 more electrons. It required 7 more electrons, but it is not possible. That's why here if sodium want to get the stability, that must attain the configuration of neon only. For that it wants to lose one electron. It wants to lose one electron. So that's why here Na is the neutral atom, that should be consist of 11 electrons. Its configuration what children? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So already we know that what is the charge of electron? What is the charge of electron? It is negative. If any atom gains the electrons, that atom becomes negatively charged. If any atom loses the electron, it becomes as positively charged ion. So because the charge of the electron is negative, to understand very simply, here what it is, Na is the 11. In that how many protons are there? 11 protons are there and 11 electrons are there. 11 electrons. So obviously when it has 11 protons and 11 electrons, if sodium lost one electron, then tell me now how many electrons are there? When it loses the one electron, now what do you write? It is like Na plus. Na plus consists of 10 electrons and 11 protons. There is no change in protons. That's why we will mention it as the Na plus. Why we are writing Na plus means, the reason behind that what it is, when any atom loses the electrons, the number of protons is greater than the number of electrons. That's why we can mention that is the Na plus. Clear children? That's why here when the sodium is loses the electron, obviously we will mention that is Na plus. So it is the positively charged ion. The positively charged ion is called cation. So now it is, how many electrons are there? 10 electrons are there. 10 electrons, 11 protons. Then its configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. That's why this Na plus gains the neon configuration. So this is the cation formation in case of NaCl children. Simply you have to remember, sodium wants to lose one electron to get the configuration of neon. When it is loses the one electron, that should be mentioned as Na plus. So So Na plus means what? It is the cation. Clear? In 4 marks question, first you have to explain the definition, and after that you have to explain the cation formation and anion formation. Now we can go for the anion formation. So the second thing is what? In NaCl, chlorine. So anion formation. And ion formation. Clear, children? So what we know, chlorine, its atomic number is what? S. What it is? 17. So I already told you these cations belongs to metals and anion belongs to non-metals. So this chlorine is 17. Its configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So 10 plus 7, 17. So to get the 8 electrons, here how many there here? How many electrons in the outermost shell? Only 7. 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5. That's why to get the 8 electrons in the outermost shell, chlorine required one more electron. Chlorine is required one more electron. That's why the electron what it is lost by the sodium, that will gain by the chlorine. Now it becomes as how many electrons here now? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Here how many electrons? Cl minus consists of 8 electrons. Those 8 electrons are nothing but atomic number of argon. That's why the configuration of argon and Cl minus both are same. That's why here Na cation loses the electron and anion gains the electron. That's mean here what it is? Na plus, and this is the Cl minus. Na plus means what? It loses the 1 electron. Cl minus what? It gains the 1 electron. When it is gains the 1 electron, then number of protons are less than the number of electrons. That's why we can say that this is Cl minus. So negatively charged particle is called anion. Positively charged ion is what we call cation. Na plus is the cation and Cl minus is the anion. So in this case, here there is some force of attraction between these two. Na plus, it is the positively charged. Cl minus, it is negatively charged. There is some like unlike charges. When they have unlike charges, there is some electrostatic forces acting between these two. That's why they can. So clear? So that's why simply what we write? NaCl. In general words, what write? Na plus Cl minus gives rise NaCl. Clear? So it is the positively cation and this is the anion. Again both are combined together due to the electrostatic force. Electron is transferred from sodium to the chlorine, then it becomes as Na plus and becomes as Cl minus. Finally what we are getting? NaCl. It is the one neutral atom. That's why. So children, this is simply about the ionic bond formation in case of NaCl. Clear? Very simple. Ionic bond is formed due to the transfer of electron from one atom to the another atom. So in this case only one electron is transferred from sodium to the chlorine. So due to the electrostatic force between the ions, the bond is created. That is what we call ionic bond formation. Ionic bond formation is because of only transfer of electrons. You have to remember that. So children, so this is for video, and if you want to get the remaining formation of MgCl2 like that, so you have to follow my channel continuously, and in my channel I am uploading all the 10th class videos. Thank you for watching.